Hey, Tim Sykes here, just with a quick little video lesson because, frankly, I'm in the middle of the jungles of Southeast Asia. My stocks to trade isn't even loading. This is actually eTrade Pro, but I wanted to make a quick little video just to show you a basic chart pattern that I like to buy. And a lot of people ask me, there's thousands of stocks. Which stocks do you buy? Please be using stockstotrade.com, okay? Use that software, and it'll show you tons of scans and tons of good plays. You can't just buy random stocks and expect success. Okay? This is not just about buying good companies or stocks that you have a good feeling about. It's about waiting for specific setups. And you can never be guaranteed success. You can never be 100% sure that, oh, this stock is definitely going to go up or down. Although, betting on some scams, betting against them, actually, the odds are pretty high. You just have a tough time finding shares to short. But for me, I like buying breakouts, okay? And you have to look at past resistance levels and see if the stock can break out above those. That's usually a good sign. When a stock makes a higher high, it can keep going. If it has the right momentum, ideally news, catalysts. If you watch my free traderchecklist.com guide, you know how to basically design a Sykes sliding scale, and you can judge if a stock is worthwhile or not. So use stockstotrade.com, use my traderchecklist.com guidelines, and look at charts like this. This is MVIS. I'm long a few thousand shares overnight because this is a nice breakout. The former highs right here were 185, 186, really like 170-ish, 177-ish. This is the top of the candle, but for 2 days before, like this little top, the top really was like 178. So right here, it did get to 185, but again, for like 2 days, the top here is 177, 178. So that is the breakout level to watch. And it's not an exact science. You don't know if a breakout is going to be a fake out, but the higher it goes, the more that it keeps going up. That can help you understand, wait a minute, this breakout is real. And I don't know if MVIS will keep going or not. But I do know that I have put myself in a position to profit if it does keep going, because frankly, this is a perfect breakout. Also, be looking to dip buy, CARA. I was dip buying this yesterday, a little too soon, okay, because it went down, all the way. Actually, I wanted it to go down to the former highs here at 1270. It didn't get that low. It got down to like 1330, 1340. I was dip buying it in the 1350s. And I actually, got rid of it. I was not around for today's bounce because it wasn't bouncing yesterday. And because I'm in Asia, my time zone, you can probably hear it in my voice, it's very difficult for me to stay awake all night because I'm doing charity all day. And frankly, I love that. But in the nighttime, that's one of the bad things about having a crazy 12, 13, 14-hour time difference. So I missed the bounce here on CARA, but I was on the right track. And being on the right track, a lot of you guys have to give yourselves more credit. If you're almost there, if you see what could happen ahead of time and you put yourself into a position of profit. So even though I wasn't there for the bounce, because frankly, it did not bounce as quickly as I wanted yesterday, I was 1 day early. And this is what I like seeing, where you have a big multi-week, multi-month uptrend, and you're dip buying it after, some panic. There was no news to account for this drop from the 16s down to the 13s, okay? You have to be very careful about dip buying. You don't want to just dip buy anything that's crashing because there could be negative news. It could be very bad. But when a stock has gone up this much like CARA has, this is just consolidation. And that dip buying offers opportunity because most likely it's going to be, have some mean reversion, come back to like near the highs. I wouldn't have even expected it to come all the way back to the 15s. All I wanted was like a 50 cent a share bounce. As it turned out for my buy, it's now bounced $2 a share. So this is another good example. So start looking for charts. I get so many messages from you guys like, whoa, this company has this technology. This CEO said this. It's all bullshit, okay? You can't trust any of these CEOs. You can't trust any of their technologies. Even if they do make it eventually, the odds are not good at predicting that stuff. What is good with odds is predicting chart patterns, breakouts, and dip buys, especially on uptrending stocks. You don't want to just dip buy any stock. There's a lot of stocks that are getting just crushed, like DRYS. I mean, it just keeps going down. You don't want to dip buy a stock that just keeps going down and can't bounce. Focus on recent winners like CARA that, have this nice uptrend in place. MVIS, I mean, it's not as strong of an uptrend, but even if I'm wrong about the breakout, what's wrong? I might lose a few cents a share, but this might go to the twos if I'm right. So it's not just about being right or wrong. It's about how right can you be versus how wrong will you be. If this does not keep breaking out, I'll sell and I'll have small losses or small gains. But if I'm right and this keeps going, this has had, like, look at this, 2 green days. This was like 1 green day, and then like it tried a second green day and failed. This was 3 green days before failing. This was 1 green day. Here we have 2 green days. Here we have 2 green days. So I don't know if this is going to be a one and done or if this is going to be another 2 green days kind of thing and really keep breaking out. You have to look at multiple chart patterns. You have to look at multiple time frames. And MVIS, I mean, even though it has a breakout here, it's going to have resistance at 2-ish and 205. So I don't know if it can keep going, but I like the breakout. I like putting myself in position to profit. And I already have, a little over $1,000 profit that I'm sitting on right now. And we'll see. We'll see if I can lock it in. I am not so cocky in thinking, oh, I know this definitely is going to keep going. But I have put myself in a position of profit. Odds are on my side. The chart pattern is on my side. It's in a hot sector, augmented reality. And Apple just said augmented reality could be, this big thing. It's a speculative position. That's what trading is. You're a speculator and a scientist. And you have to think of yourself as a scientist. So you test different theories. And you refine those theories. You optimize, and eventually, you profit more. Just like AQMS. This was a breakout the other day that I was buying at 14-ish. And frankly, it broke out nicely, and I sold too soon. And it went all the way up to like 18. But I put myself into a position of profiting. And I still profited. I made roughly $1,000. But I underestimated how perfect, frankly, this breakout was going to be. So I don't know if MVIS will have a breakout like this. Probably not. AQMS had really amazing news. They got the validation of their technology and a big new investor. Those were nice catalysts. But the breakout was just absolutely awesome. CTRL was an earnings winner that I missed. Look at this breakout. You look at previous highs here, and this one just keeps going. Okay, these are just a few examples, and they don't always work. PLSE was another one. I was buying the breakout, and frankly, I was scared because, there is no resistance up here in the 8s or 9s. So when I was buying it in here in the mid 9s the other day, I was scared. I didn't know if it was going to keep, coming down. But on day 2 and on day 3 now, after the news, they got some big new investors too. It keeps going. But on all of these charts, they are breakouts. And that is what I want you focusing on. Whether it's PLSE and big new investors, or AQMS and a big new investor and a validation of their technology, which I think was even more important, or CARA and its multi-month uptrend, and you're buying on the dip. This is not the first time buying on the dip has worked. If you wait for this support in here in the 6s, or support in here in the 9s, there have been multiple dip buying opportunities. You can see even here, it had 2 big red days, and the third day was a green day. Here's 2 big red days, and here's a green day. Here were 2 big red days, and you have a little green day. So here's, 3 red days and some green days. I mean, it's not an exact science. Sometimes it's 2 days, sometimes it's 3 days. But you start to see the patterns again and again and again. And that is how you find good stocks to trade. So leave a comment with the 3 words, stocks to trade. And also go to stockstotrade.com if you want more scans. This is just me talking, frankly, and you're going to get this like in the middle of the night with the time zone difference. But at the same time, I'm focused on patterns that have good odds. And that is what makes me successful again and again. CARA, I was a little too soon. AQMS, I made nearly 1,000 And, this one could have been a massive win, but frankly, I'm not that good at higher price stocks. MVIS, we'll see. I have no idea if I'm going to make 1,000 or 500 or 2,000, or if I'm wrong and I might lose, a few hundred. But I put myself into a place to potentially profit and potentially capture this kind of a run because the chart is a breakout, because the odds are on my side. So again, leave a comment, 3 words, stocks to trade, if you understand this lesson and you start beginning to focus on, chart patterns rather than just companies and technologies and tips and, your gut. Focus on what you can see. Look at past levels and see if the stocks can break it or not. If they can, then perhaps they are good buys and they can keep going if they have the right news and catalysts and all that stuff. Thank you.